Welcome. So today we're talking about receiving love for a healthier you. And I forgot to press record in the beginning. This has been a day of glitches for me. And I want everyone who's been on the call to stay in the heart space. I'm going to invite everyone who's joining in now. This may feel a little incomplete, but I want everybody who can get this to benefit. So I'm inviting everyone to drop down, bring your awareness, turn off devices, have some quiet time where you won't be disturbed for about half an hour or so, and try to bring your awareness into your heart space. And I've invited everyone on the call to see, hear, feel if there's a message for you there right now. And the heart space will be anywhere within the heart to belly area. Feel what it feels like to put your awareness there. If someone is in that heart space with you, whether it's a loved one or yourself as a younger child or yourself as in the future, maybe, ask if there's a message for you. Knowing that when we build up walls around our heart, we tend to stop truly living. We feel like we don't want to get hurt, so we stop receiving love. And it's not as easy to give love from that space, the full amount of love that we have. Our heart frequencies resonate bigger than anything else in the world, certainly more than our brain frequencies. And we're always told to think things through. I invite you to feel into your heart space, get quiet, and feel things through from that heart space. Where are you going in your heart? First, we can feel if there are any tensions present, and bring your awareness there and just start to relax. Let that melt away. You may become aware of something physical or physiological. Just kind of put that back in your awareness, recognizing, try not to get lost in thinking about it right now, knowing that you'll remember it later when you need to bring it up. Maybe, ask for help with something. Maybe you recognize a need to change lifestyle or diet or talk to your doctor about something. But let all that go. If people are there with you physically right now, you can squeeze their hand. If not, you can bring someone into your heart space and just give them a wonderful warm hug right now. So what I'm seeing now that we're bringing in is the shoulders. The shoulders represent heart protection. A lot of times we'll see people come in kind of, with their shoulders rolled forward or hunched over, and they're protecting their hearts. And when we can expand out and relax the shoulders, have them pulled back more, then we are opening up to giving and receiving love. And love can be healing, not just on the mental, emotional space, but the physical as well. And you might be thinking, well, I came in today because I really want to work on my shoulder, or maybe it's an elbow, maybe it's a big toe or a knee. I recently fell. I fell 3 times in 2 weeks on the same knee that jammed the same hip and side of the lower back that's been bothering me for ages. And I had to wake up to the realization, oh, there are no accidents, so why do I keep having these falls, these accidents, right? And I had to stop and think back through, in Chinese medicine, what do those parts of the body represent? And what's going on? And then when I could recognize that, I was able to emotionally release so that the physical just goes much, much more quicker, much quicker. I'm not going to say I'm going to have perfect grammar here either. Um, and so it's realizations like that that we can begin to recognize when we're in our heart space. And I invite you to put your focus, your awareness, if you've kind of drifted away from the heart, bring your awareness back to the heart space so that you can look from that area through the rest of the body, but through the lens of the heart now. Find where those points of tension are, whether it's an itch or a pain or just a tightness. Or maybe it's the mind just going on the hamster wheel, on the hamster wheel, on the hamster wheel. And when we bring our awareness to what's bothering us, we can choose to let that go, at least momentarily. I know that's not always easy, but it's easier if we bring our attention back to our hearts. From there, what I see coming in more is a part of the thalamus in the brain. It's the anterior nuclear group. It's kind of learning by example. And what that's telling me right now, this has to do with memory storage in the limbic part of the brain. Learning by example isn't just when we're growing up, when we're young, but learning by what we see others doing and experiencing in the world, or maybe repeating to us over and over. So we take that on as our own. We look to others for how we should live our lives, whether we're little or, my age. And if we're starting to come in and recognize, I don't care if you're in your 80s, I've seen this work for people, where if we look and recognize I'm looking to others to learn from, that can be a good thing in many ways. But are we giving away our power too much? Are we watching their example and repeating something that maybe is not working for us? Or can we look to someone for the wisdom that they have to share? And the wisdom really comes from the heart. Learn from that. Take what is for us, but leave the rest, because that rest of it may or may not serve us. But it's the wisdom of the heart that's going to let us know if that is for us or not. And remembering in turn that we set an example for others around us, whether it's our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our coworkers, or the person we pass in the grocery store aisle. And that helps us remember that we do set an example for the rest of the world. Getting out of the heart space into the head space happens so quickly and so easily. We're not even aware of it usually. If we are trying to live with awareness, sometimes we'll catch ourselves when that happens, and we can go, even in the midst of being very busy, of checking off the grocery list, or in a meeting at work, and having to operate with others, we can catch ourselves drop back into the heart awareness, and then be able to have a conversation that is more helpful, that is less, fighting or argumentative or trying to prove a point. Even if we do have a point we feel very necessary to bring up, when we're in that heart space, so we can use this in everyday life. When we're in that heart space, we're able to communicate it in a way that others are better able to receive. So when we've broken down those walls, and that's not easy to do, it's something that does take time. This is just a little bitty beginning. This is a little part of a set of techniques and tools that we can put in our tool bag. It's not that we're going to have a set of tools to follow like a rigid guideline all the time, but we remember to drop back into that, bring our awareness back into that heart space. And from there, one, the tools might pop into our awareness much more readily. Maybe it's remembering that a person has a concern that we need to address in that meeting. Maybe it's remembering a birthday and pick up the phone and wish someone happy birthday. Maybe it's recognizing what someone's love language is or what their learning style is, and just tweaking how we present what it is we want to communicate to them, or how we want to communicate with them. It can happen in so many ways. So to go back to kind of where we started, I know I'm bringing in this learning by example, and that's, associating memories with behavior patterns. So often that comes in from our past, right? Our past experiences. We're going to take that interior nuclear group within the thalamus in the brain and link that right into the heart for that recognition. And the heart space is very harmonizing. It's it's kind of in the center, so it brings left to right, right to left. It brings upper to lower, above and below. It brings our environment together. It brings our bodies together. It brings our head brain, heart brain, and gut brain together, kind of centered in that heart for a deeper processing, a deeper learning, a deeper understanding that will bring more wisdom. And so from there, it feels like we are linking into the gut, the gut brain. The gut brain in many cultures is considered the seat of the soul. We have the gut microbiome there. Looking at it physiologically, we recognize now that without a healthy gut, it's difficult to have a healthy mind. A lot of times, depression, anxiety, things like that will come in because of an imbalance in the gut or in the gut brain, in the small intestine, in the gut microbiome. And I know a lot of people, especially in the last few years, have really struggled with anxiety, depression, the mental chatter that we can't get off of the hamster wheel, so to speak, that can disrupt our sleep, that can disrupt our thoughts, it can disrupt our focus. So, and of course, if we're not sleeping, we're not able to regenerate nerve energy. So our health really takes a downturn. We want to start to come out of that. And if we're not sleeping, we aren't always very happy. No, I get cranky if I haven't had enough sleep, And we look at children and recognize, oh, they need a nap. They're getting super cranky. Well, sometimes it feels like that for us too. And we have to remember, we need to try to do the things that help us rest more. If you would like to learn a technique that can help kind of bring down the mental chatter, help you get to sleep better, maybe stay asleep longer, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out at info@wisewomanevolving.com. I'm happy to share I think it's a short, it's less than 15-minute long video with a simple little technique that can really help the brain kind of calm down. The brain is the central, it's like the big computer, right, for the rest of the body. And it's supposed to keep track of everything going on in the body and say, hey, remember to go do your job. But sometimes it gets overloaded and there's too much going on. And we have to ask the brain to kind of calm down and remind every other organ, endocrine, and body part to go do its job again, right? It's like the organs, endocrines, and body parts have a mind of their own. They have their own personalities. And so we want to recognize we're human. We get stressed, we get frazzled, we get to feeling like this, but we need to do for ourselves, drop our awareness back into our heart. But I'm also happy to share another technique with you. And just, again, email me at info@wisewomanevolving.com and just ask for the video and I'm happy to share it with you. Also, if you're here, if someone shared this with you and you don't have my contact information, feel free to contact me that way. Feel free to ask the person who brought you here for my number. They'll probably share the video with you, and I'll put this out on YouTube. I'm hoping this one's pretty decent. I started out with so many glitches. So now where we're going to is the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain it's kind of finalizing its development. It goes till about the age of 25. So we want to, and the developmental stages for the prefrontal cortex happen off and on throughout all our years until about that time. After the age of 25, pretty much what's set is set. Can we still learn? Absolutely. Can we still learn to open up and love and receive love? Absolutely. And it's not that we stop learning. You know, I'm a grandmother and I still love learning. And I am still learning sometimes some pretty tough lessons in life. I'm human. And sometimes I still just want to go and take another course or read another book. There's so many different ways to learn in life. But our prefrontal cortex has to do with you know, there are many, many, many things. It feels like what in relation to what this session is morphing into becoming, right? It feels like this part is more about the social behavior, the mood changes, focusing on tasks, things like that, problem solving. We want to help kind of bring that focus in. We're going to link that to the heart as well to help settle down the mind chatter, help settle down all the frazzled feelings that we may have. I know I started this this Zoom meeting out feeling frazzled because of technical difficulties. I am not the greatest tech person. Usually I get through all right though. Today, however, those of you who are on the call live know that I really kept messing up. It's just part of it. So thankfully, before I started this video, I did remember to do these techniques to kind of settle it down. So what we're looking at is that, and we're also going to, so we're doing a lot of brain work right now. We came from that heart awareness, and then we're going to the pons in the brain. And that's kind of at the lower back part of the head here in the brainstem area. That has to do with breathing, with sleep, our patterns, even taste, things like that. So, and I want to make sure I have this right. Yes. So it is the different halves of the cerebellum, the cortex, the different parts of the brain, the different sections of the brain to the cerebellum. And the cerebellum is also at the base there. It's kind of like a ball right in the back here. It's the coordination of involuntary movement. Now, how that relates to what we are bringing in for this session is what it feels like to me is getting the awareness to the heart brain so that we experience more calm, so that we can handle the tasks around us with less stress. We can coordinate all those movements, slow down the mind chatter. We can recognize it's there, but when we go to the heart, we're more clearly able to recognize which part of the mind chatter we need to focus on. We can address that in the moment in a more calm manner, and that gets things done more so that we can recognize too, to go back to the beginning of what we were talking about and kind of tearing down those walls that we put up for ourselves. We can tear those walls down because we're more calm, we're more focused. We can recognize what parts of the mind chatter are really just something we're taking on that doesn't have to be there. Maybe making something bigger than it is in our minds and allowing that stress to go and living from the heart and recognizing it's not all that bad. And we can allow the walls we've put up to melt away. Then we can truly receive more love. We can give more love from that space where others can receive. And that's where we get into fully living in a way that moves us forward in life at a better pace. We feel more comfortable. We feel more joy, more enthusiasm. Enthusiasm has to come from the heart too. Instead of feeling like we're dragging through life. I know the last few years for a lot of people has made us feel like, oh, when is this going to end? Whether it's the chaos that's happening in the world right now, and there's so much chaos happening right now. And my heart truly is with each and every one of you, especially if you're experiencing more chaos individually in your lives, and especially if it's as a result of everything going around in your environment. And we can take a moment to stop and recognize no matter what we have going on in our own lives, we're still here. We're okay. And we can send love to ourselves, to the rest of the world to help bring more calm. We can imagine bringing the world into our heart, or imagine taking our heart and giving the world a big hug. And that really centers us in our heart space. When we live from that space, and again, it's easy to pop back up into the head, but if we're aware of it, bring your awareness back into the heart space. When we do that, we're giving ourselves a hug. We're able to give those around us a hug. And we are sending the world a big hug. And that we're doing this as a group right now together, that makes it that much more powerful. And then the tensions around the world can begin to relax. Even if just for a moment, it's that little spark of light. That if we remember there is no time and space in reality, remember that spark can brighten up the whole world. It can brighten up your life. It can brighten up your moment right now. Maybe that puts a smile on your face and you pass someone walking down the street or the grocery store or the person working next to you, and it spreads a little more light and love. Maybe that makes them happier. And they begin to spread that joy as well. It has that ripple effect. So we're going to go right back to our hearts. Rest there for a moment. Again, ask yourself, is there anything here from this heart space, from this being more centered, that I can learn from? Is there a message? Even if you don't get anything in that very moment of a message, if you feel what it feels like to be in your heart space, it'll bring a centeredness, calm, love, joy, a feeling of union and community with those around you. Even if you're like me, I live alone, but I don't feel alone. I feel so much incredible joy and love because I know it's all right here. And then that reflects out to the world around me. And I have beautiful, beautiful people in my life that I'm incredibly grateful for. They often help me. I'm able to help them, even if it's just a, hey, how are you? I'm thinking about you. Reach out to yourself and you'll feel that inside. And that spreads, even if you're not getting outside and out in the world. I work from home, so I'm home a lot. Of course, I love being home. I love to start my day out in nature. I love to have my quiet time in the darkness and watch the sunrise. And I know I have the world inside of me. And there's so much love there and so much joy. And then when I start my day and I'm working with clients throughout the day or doing a call like right now, I'm able to just share. I feel y'all with me. And that spreads, and everyone hopefully is able to receive because I'm not stressed at that point if I've had my quiet time, my alone time, but I go within for that. I invite you to live in your heart space as much as possible. From there, you can share. From there, the walls of protection, which don't really protect us at all, they really, it serves more as a longer term way to stop living. You know, we can't receive love if we're trying to protect ourselves, and no, I'm guarded. I had bad experiences in the past. Open up, let go. Let go of all of that and let yourself feel love. Let yourself give love. So with that, I invite you all to have a beautiful Valentine's Day season, whatever it is you're celebrating. If you see this much later and it's not that time of year, I still invite you to love yourself. And that brings love to everyone else around you. Thank you for being here. I apologize for the glitches. A lot of you are celebrating Mardi Gras today, or Carnival, and happy Carnival, happy Mardi Gras, if that's what you're celebrating. And a lot of you are celebrating Valentine's tomorrow. Happy Valentine's from my heart to yours. I love you all. I'm grateful for you being here. Again, if there's anything else I can do for you, if you'd like a copy of that video I made, I'm happy to share it. Or if you'd like to reach out for anything else, it's info@wisewomanevolving.com. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.